For the last year, the debate over artificial intelligence focused heavily on visible outputs. We argued over whether chatbots should declare they are machines, if training data should be summarized, and how to define basic model safety. Today's most consequential disputes focus on the authority to define harm. The gravity of the conversation has shifted toward a fight for jurisdiction. This diagram maps out the collision. We have a top layer representing Washington, pushing to consolidate a single, unified national standard. Below that sits an expanding, fractured layer of states, led by California, building their own, much tougher regulatory lanes. What we are watching here is a quiet, constitutional turf war over the regulatory architecture itself. The defining tension for the immediate future of this technology bypasses philosophical ethics. It is a strict operational fight over who secures the right to own the rulebook. The federal strategy came into sharp focus this March. The White House released a policy framework designed to act as a blueprint for a minimally burdensome national AI standard. The engine of this blueprint is a legal mechanism called federal preemption. Preemption occurs when higher-level national laws are written specifically to override or cancel out local state laws. Here, Washington wants Congress to preempt any state rules that place what they consider undue burdens on AI developers. The intent is to harmonize the entire technological stack across state lines. A single set of rules keeps innovation speed high and explicitly shields model developers from facing penalties if third parties misuse their tools. However, the framework deliberately leaves certain doors open. It allows states to maintain their ordinary police powers, control local data center zoning, and set their own public procurement rules. This approach mirrors classic platform governance logic, scaled up to the national level. You harmonize the core system to encourage fast growth, and you narrow down local interference to a few highly specific areas. The administration is not advocating for an absence of rules. They are arguing for their own rules, organized centrally with severely limited local veto power. But the states are not standing down, and California is actively operating as the practical testing ground for how to resist that centralization. Through a recent executive order, Governor Gavin Newsom's office is utilizing that exact public procurement loophole left open by the federal framework. The state is raising its own buying standards for technology and building strict new watermarking guidelines for any system it purchases. California officials have also indicated they are willing to completely separate the state's AI authorization process from the federal government's if Washington's preemption efforts push too hard. This friction is already moving from theoretical policy into live courtroom stress tests. The recent lawsuit involving the AI company xAI serves as a primary example. In March, xAI failed to win a preliminary injunction to halt California's training data transparency law. Because the injunction failed, the state's stringent disclosure regime remains fully active while the litigation proceeds. Despite aggressive federal attempts to clear the regulatory field, states are successfully embedding legal and purchasing infrastructure that companies cannot simply wave away. We are looking at two highly divergent outcomes. A clean federal victory would deliver broad corporate certainty and lower compliance costs across the board. If the California model spreads, that certainty fractures. This chart visualizes a two-track system. Federal rhetoric guarantees a uniform line, but reality forces companies through restrictive state compliance gates. Power moves toward these narrow leverage points developers must pass through: state procurement contracts, data center zoning, and training data disclosures. Going forward, the courts are the first major indicator to watch. Cases like xAI are where abstract federal preemption language gets forged into hard, enforceable legal doctrine. The second indicator is state purchasing rules. The massive budgets that states use to buy software will quietly force models to conform to local standards, operating entirely under the radar of public legislation. The immediate path of AI governance is less likely to be shaped by a single ethics bill and more by the persistent control of these specific local choke points.